Keeping systems up to date with the latest security patches is a critical part of running a successful infrastructure. Lenovo XClarity Administrator helps make this task easier and more reliable. Let's take a closer look. So in this case, in running our infrastructure, we've been informed that a new security patch is available. The first thing we want to do is go ahead and download that patch. So we're going to access our repository where all of our updates are held here at the XClarity Administrator server. And although we have updates for a number of different pieces, what I'm going to first focus on is our updates for our new SR650. So I'm going to use the filter to filter down to the 650. And I'll expand this out and look under the BIOS patch. And you'll notice that right now, our most recent patch is back from November. But we know that there's a new patch out. It should be dated in January. So let's go ahead and update our repository, or as we say here, refresh the catalog. And I'm going to select Refresh All Managed Latest Only. So what this is going to do is give us updates for all the systems we have in our management, but just pull down the latest update. And we can see here in the upper left-hand corner that it's currently downloading the firmware catalog information. Now, I should emphasize that initially it's not going to download the patch itself, but it's going to be downloading the metadata about the patch. And so that's going to save some time and also some storage. It typically does it this way so that we find out about the updates, the information we need, and then we can decide if it's of interest to us, we can go ahead and download that update when we're ready to actually go off and deploy it. Okay, so now the download is complete. So let's again just filter out that one that we looked at a moment ago. And when we expand this out, we'll again look at the UEFI. And now we notice that, in fact, this new update from January is available. And if I need more information about it, I can click on the release notes. That'll pop up more information about what that particular update is all about. We can review that if we need to. And now while we're in here, because we know we're going to go ahead and deploy this in a few months, we're going to select this. And we're going to say, go ahead and download that specific update. So you'll notice right now it says that it's not downloaded. We want to go ahead and update and get that downloaded so it's available for us to go ahead and deploy. Okay, and in fact now we can see already, that was pretty quick, it's already downloaded and ready to go. So next step is to simply deploy that update. So we're going to go to Provisioning and select Apply Activate. Again, we have a list of all of the systems in our infrastructure. We're going to filter down to find our SR650s. And what we're going to do first is an update without policy. So we're not going to first just change the whole policy. This is maybe something we want to get out very quickly. So we want to go ahead and refresh our view here. And as I expand out on one of our 650s now, we'll see that on that UEFI line, as we come across here, I'm currently at 1.10, and I now have 1.11 available to do my update. So if I wanted to do the update this way, I could simply select the checkbox here and go ahead and say we want to go ahead and perform those updates. Now, that's a simple way to do it. I don't have to go back and change policies or anything, but there is certainly value to updating my policy, because if I don't update my policy, I've got to go through this for each one of my individual systems. It might be easier to simply go back and say, okay, I need to get a new policy and apply that across many systems in a more consistent fashion. So let's go back to provisioning for a moment. And we're going to look at our compliance policies. Now, this list of compliance policies I currently have are all the standard default best recipes, if you will, that I've downloaded from Lenovo on about a quarterly basis as they come out. And so this new patch that came out didn't necessarily come out timed with one of these quarterly updates. So what I simply want to do is select the latest quarterly update that I've currently already applied to my systems. And I want to go ahead and I want to create a copy of that. And I'm going to select it down here, and I'm going to edit this. And the first thing I'm going to do is simply change the name of it. All right, so we're going to call this now our January security patch. And once again, you find the filter very convenient here to simply go through and look through the list of systems to find the update that I need. So here's the system that I'm working with specifically. And if we scroll down here just a little bit more, on the firmware, we'll see again, the standard policy has it at the 1.10 level, but we recognize there is a 1.11 that we just downloaded. So I'm going to update my policy. And now when I save that now, I have a new January security patch policy, which can be applied to my system. So let's go back and see how that works. Let's go back to the apply and activate. And now we're going to select the tab about updating with policy. Once again, filter down to the SR650s. And now what I can do is really, let's as an example, I can select all of these systems, and I can assign the new policy of January security and select those. And now you'll see it goes off and does the health check on it, and now you see it comes back and says, in fact, they are not compliant. And if I expand out underneath one of these, we'll see what line item that is, right? It's that same line item that we would have expected to see. And if I want to, then, again, just like before, I can go ahead and do the patch, select them all, and then proceed with that process. So with that, you can see how XClarity Administrator makes it easy to stay on top of the most recent security patches, from downloading the right patch to getting the update deployed out to our systems quickly and reliably.